Hey, this is Dr. Flight. Welcome to MBA 631 Week 1. Now, each week I will look to produce some type of a very short summary of the week and things that you can look forward to as we progress through each week. The semester and the term is dynamic. There's a lot often going on. Most of the weeks, though, will follow a pattern that you can expect with consistency. As I mentioned before, and I know it's an oddity probably, but I sync the online section timing wise and schedule wise at least with the face-to-face section, and we meet each week on Thursdays face-to-face. So as such, I begin the week and material on Thursday. The week continues through the weekend and ends on a Wednesday. So week 1 would go Thursday today, or the 22nd. Through Wednesday of next week. And so on Thursdays, you can anticipate new material, new chapters. In another video, I posted a indication of the schedule, so you should be able to see that. And let's walk through some of that here right now. And let me just kind of use Moodle as the template that you should have. There have been a few in adding items and dropping items. Moodle has a new interface this fall, so I'm learning some of that new interface, and so please let me know if something doesn't appear or something's not turned on or there's a date askew. I've tried to correct all those little things, but there's no doubt there'll be a few here and there. I want to be responsive to that, but sometimes I don't know unless you tell me. So please feel free to reach out if that's the case. But what we're looking at on the screen is our Moodle page. As you know, on the left-hand bar, there's shortcuts to things. But if we just start at the top, this is our D1 online section for MBA 631. As you may have already noticed, we have some announcements, or one announcement anyways was placed the other day, so you'd find announcements there. Those announcements should also be emailed to you. So check, if you're not getting emails, check your the trash or the junk, I guess, folder in case you miss something there. I will try to send emails out, on a regular basis, at least weekly, to touch base if needed. So announcements there. Your first day complete, if you need your textbook and you're using that service, that's a link there. And then really start here. Again, this is week 1, so that's why I'm going through some of this with you in case there's any uncertainty or whatnot. I did create a class video. I wish it was a little shorter. It's 20 or 30 minutes, but it's really an introduction to the course. It's like a day 1. If we had a lecture, we'd be talking about this stuff. So feel free to look at that. Be sure to watch it and become comfortable with the expectations of the course. There's this is just a static PowerPoint that I talk over in regard to that video, and that's kind of a pattern you're going to see throughout the course, where if there's a video, there's usually some type of a PowerPoint if you need that for a resource or for something that you do. That's there. We have our syllabus for the section, so obviously review it, make sure you're comfortable with everything that's there. The grading scheme is in there, and so on. And then again, I mentioned the content and assignment schedule. That's kind of it's a non-detailed snapshot of the content throughout the semester and the deliverables with the due dates. Again, let me know if there's any thing you notice that doesn't seem right in terms of the timing and such. I need to know if there are any issues there. Okay, so that's just the getting started space. By now you've probably looked at that, or you might want to do that right away. Other sections that you're going to see right away, these first 5 tiles should be available to you. The other ones are not available yet. I've got a lot of cleaning up for those. I don't want them out there until they're ready for you. So the weekly reflection discussion forums. So weekly reflections, each week there's going to be a reflection on the material with a prompt. Now this serves as an opportunity for you to interact with classmates. You know, face to face we have in-class discussions, and so this is an opportunity to again apply something from class, provide your personal intake, your opinion or whatnot, what you think, and then discuss that point of view with classmates. So it's a reflection of the material, but it's also a component of interacting with your teammates or classmates. I've posted reflection 1. So the reflections have 2 components, as I think I've mentioned before. One is the initial post. The second is the response to your teammates or classmates. So there's 2 things to be aware of. The discussion ends on Wednesday at midnight. So again, the end of our week, Wednesday at midnight. However, you need to make your initial post on the day before, or at least by the day before. That would be Tuesday at midnight. So again, if you click on that reflection, you're going to have a prompt. It's going to give you some details on what you should do on the assignment. This particular prompt or reflection, there's 2 articles to read and a short 5-minute video to watch. So you want to read those 2 short articles and then watch the video, address the prompt. And again, we have a grading rubric here, so please review the grading rubric for timing and content. I'm going to just check box these as far as grades go. Again, there's 10 of these during the semester, so these are low value. They're 10 points apiece, so you don't want to miss them. You don't want to not do them. You want to do them adequately. But you'll see one for every chapter roughly. We cover 11 chapters, but there are 10 of these throughout the course of the term. Okay, so that you're going to find again the reflections, weekly reflections. We have again, if you need that video in another spot, we have the URL here, and then here are the 2 articles that go along with this first reflection. And you're going to see in the space reflection 2 and 3 and so forth. It'll drop down and you'll see this will populate, and we'll have a lot more on this page once we get going. Okay, going back to this main page then, so start here, weekly reflections, cases, project, and chapter 1 material, market-led strategies. So that's chapter 1 material. The cases, we don't have any yet. So if you click in here, you're not going to see anything. There's just not going to be anything there yet. We'll have one. I'll have a first case probably posted next week. So that you can begin to think about it if that's what you want to do. If you want project information, it's all going to be under this tab. Again, right now the project is listed, kind of described, if you will, and there's also a hard copy Word document you can look at that gives you even more information about the project. Projects, again, I'm going to go into detail next week, and I'm going to split you all up into groups next week as well. So that's not a this week thing, that's a next week thing that we'll work on once we get the term started. Okay, but for this week, market-led strategic management. This is chapter 1 of the material. Your goals here should be to read the chapter, read the material in the chapter. I've collected a grouping of videos that I've produced that will guide you through some of the concepts that I want you to know more about. This doesn't cover everything in the chapter, but there are bits and pieces that are important, like exchange theory, creating value for the customer. These 6 principles of the firm are in the text, and I review those. These other items are in the text too, but I've added more content to them. So you want to watch the videos, understand what's going on, and you may want to incorporate those in your weekly discussions. That's something that you might do. You'll also want to draw on this material when you do your cases. So you'll want to see this material because I'm going to expect you to incorporate this material into your case analyses. Okay, now other things you're going to see here, a couple other documents. First and foremost, you're going to see some additional readings here. And I'm just going to point out to you this Britannica reading is one we're actually going to do in our face-to-face class, but it's an article that talks about change, having to change from an organizational perspective, and the evolution of a market. So that's one of the principles that you're going to learn about in the text. This short article talks about an organization that has had to evolve in order to survive, and that's the reason why that's there. So it might be interesting for you to read. These other articles are deeper support articles, and when I say a support article, what I mean is don't feel like you have to read those in depth. But if you're interested in exchange theory, there's one good paper about that. Market orientation is another big area. It's pretty dense in marketing. It's a concept, it's a theory. And so there are a couple papers that are there that kind of talk about that in more depth. Again, it's background material. It's support material or background material that if you are wanting to know more, these would help you in those areas. So again, support material I tend to not focus on quite as much in terms of fully in-depth reading, but this Britannica article you should read. And think about how Cruz, the leader, has had to face a decision which was very big for the company, but it was a reflection of environmental trends and the evolution of the marketplace and technology, of course, for them. So that's why that's there. Okay, the other ones though are videos to watch, and then the final element that you're going to see, and you'll see this every week, there's a single Word document which I'm going to pull up. The single Word document is just a simple outline of the chapter. Now, some of these are longer, some of these are shorter, some of them only have 3 or 4 items, some of them this week has 8 items, but this is just when you're reading the chapter, what should you know? And it just walks right through the chapter from start to finish. These are the highlights that I think are important, that you should work towards knowing. Each and every week you'll see one of these pages. It's just a weekly outline of content. Now again, my videos don't cover everything in the chapter. I don't just read through the chapter. What I do is pick and choose concepts that I think are important and or things that I think you could use that drive marketing, but also will help you do reflections, do cases, and also your project. Okay, what I'd like to see is a good tie-in between what you're learning in class and what I see in your work that you produce. One of the things I tell my students is if you write something and there's nothing from the course in your writing, then I ask myself, well, why is this student in the class? Literally anyone on the street could have written this, and anybody who's not in my class could have written this. If that's the impression I get, then that's not a good answer. That's not a good solution. So you want to incorporate what you're learning and demonstrate to me you're including things in all your writings that come from the course. Okay, so again, this is week 1 of our material. Again, each week you're going to kind of see this. Our next week we'll have another tile that will be the next week's worth of material, and I'll try to get ahead so we have a few weeks in advance queued up, but right now we have week 1 material for you. And again, you can expect this next week to get another email, another video, just kind of walking through the highlights of this. Again, highlights from this week, if we were to go back to this piece here, things that are exceptionally important, this idea of exchanges, this idea of market orientation, those two are big concepts that we should have. I love the 6 marketing principles idea as well. Value and value propositions is also something that I would highlight to know and be kind of comfortable with. The Textbook's super easy to read. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. We're gonna have a lot of fun this semester. Got to learn a lot. Above all, reach out to me if you have any questions or if there's anything that I can help you with. If there's something again that is off on Moodle, it's a functional thing that I need to fix, so let me know and we'll get those taken care of. Otherwise, again, have a great week. Have a great few days. I hope you're getting off to a good start in the semester. And above all, again, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.